Cody here from Movie Losers, back with another review. Joining me for our Deadpool 2 review is Kieran.
Hello, guys.
Welcome. Now, first, we're going to begin with a non-spoiler portion of this video, followed by spoilers. So, Kieran, you're a big Deadpool guy. You got the t-shirt from Walmart on, clearly.
Thanks.
Tell us, what were your expectations going in, and what do you think, spoiler-free thoughts?
Right. So I guess my expectations going into Deadpool 2 were very reserved, I would say. One, this is a sequel, so you always feel kind of afraid of what a sequel brings. But nevertheless, this is still a Deadpool movie. You still expect jokes. You still expect gore and violence and fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I did feel like we got that in this movie. I laughed a lot in this movie. It's very funny, very well written still. And the action scenes and the gore and the violence is all there, just as you would expect from anything. But I did feel it was just a very slight notch behind the original Deadpool.
Now, do you think that's because it lacks the first time, shock value, I guess you could say, of the first one?
Definitely, there was this feeling when you went into Deadpool because it took so long to get it to kind of be greenlit and everything like that.
There was a magic there.
There was a little bit of magic there, but at that time it felt like all the jokes and all that was going on was just kind of off the hip. You know, it was just kind of throwing jokes out there. This time felt like it was very kind of forced at some points, like the jokes just didn't kind of land. But still, like I said, it was still a really, really funny movie, really entertaining movie, but just slightly just below the first one for me. They
didn't poke too much fun at X-Men. Deadpool, it kind of came around at a perfect point in time because it came around. I mean, the marketing I thought was on par this time at least. If you went to Walmart, they had a bunch of DVDs with like the good, the bad, and the ugly, but with Deadpool, replacing all the characters on those covers. But that when the first one came out, when you had the 50 Shades movie in theaters, and it was before X-Men Apocalypse, so at that and before Logan, right?
Yeah.
So really, the X-Men universe was still coming off that Days of Future Past high, right?
Right. Yeah.
Where in this one, Logan has since come and gone, and Apocalypse effectively, in my opinion, killed that universe. So they didn't poke too much fun. There was a couple nods to the X-Men franchise, but I thought they were wiser to kind of poke fun at the team building, DC, Marvel, Thanos, things like that. But yeah, for me it was like a little, honestly it was probably a little less gory, and a little less vulgar, a little less sexual, and I don't know, I thought it, for a sequel, it was certainly well done. The story was interesting, it was funny, and you miss the origin aspect of it. That brings some drama along with it. In this one, I thought they brought just enough drama with the story they went with, trying to bring the kid back from his psychotic path, whatever his name is, that mutant with the fire fist.
Russell.
His
name,
I
just didn't. There was one thing that really kind of bothered me throughout the movie, and without spoiling it, of course, was there's this plot device used very early with a certain character that's been used so many times to essentially motivate a character throughout the rest of the movie. I just felt like that's just an overused plot point that just didn't really need to be done or used. So it did kind of bother me throughout. They did it in a kind of a unique way, but still, I was just like, man, we really have to do this.
They kind of masked it with laughter, like made a joke of it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't, it was kind of meta, but for me that was enough of a reason to be a little bit emotionally invested. But,
But I did like some of the characters, like Domino. Excellent. I thought Domino was really cool. Arguably, maybe, besides Deadpool, my favorite character in the whole movie, honestly.
If you liked, there's a lot of surprises. If you liked the first Deadpool, thought it was funny, it's your cup of tea, I think you'll enjoy this one. Maybe more. I've heard people have liked it more. I've heard people have liked it less. I've heard people have liked it right on par with the first one. So, I guess I'd probably score it like a 3, 4, somewhere in that range.
I'd probably go with a 4 because that first Deadpool probably would have gotten me a 5, but I'd probably go 4 for this one.
Yeah,
personally.
Yeah, let's go 4. Why not?
4.
All right, let's talk some spoilers now.
Boom.
So, you mentioned that plot device at the beginning, referring to the death of the girlfriend.
Vanessa.
He's a man on a mission, a revenge mission.
Right.
Directed by, they mention as much in the opening credits, one of the directors of John Wick.
Yeah.
The people that killed the dog. Same kind of plot device, but it worked for me. They had turned it into a Bond 007 intro.
Yeah.
Like all the 007 films, if you haven't seen them, open with a action scene and then a musical number with an artistic introduction with credits and all that.
Right.
They did that. I thought it was surprising, hilarious.
Laughed.
And then quickly we get to we again opened with some action, which was nice. You're immediately thrust back into the Deadpool universe, and then we go to the mansion. Colossus is there again, and it's a joke's made that where is everybody at?
Yeah.
Our first big cameo, I think, is here, where we see, I didn't get like a close look because it happens so fast, but I'm pretty sure McAvoy and
Beast, Quicksilver was definitely there.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So, yeah, you get those kind of big cameos. It was, like you said,
was Mystique there?
I didn't tell because for me, seeing Beast kind of just drew my eye to him.
Right, and
he's
they
right in front and shut the door. So like I saw Beast, McAvoy, and really if I didn't hear from it, I probably wouldn't even notice Quicksilver was there. I'd probably have to pay more attention on a second viewing, but
which is weird because that takes place in the 80s, right? Apocalypse did.
Right.
And this is, I guess, present. I mean, who really cares anymore about Deadpool? Like, doesn't matter.
From what I've read, a lot of those like cameo scenes were kind of taken from Dark Phoenix, because I've heard that if you look at Quicksilver, he's wearing like a Nirvana shirt and stuff. So like in the 90s when Dark Phoenix is supposedly filmed.
Okay.
But I did hear that was taken from there. But
I hope that's good. But no. So they made fun of Marvel and Thanos, but no like cameos by any Marvel superheroes. Obviously, that deal is still being worked out, and I think Comcast is even trying to like block it or something. Last I read, I don't know. But who cares? Let's maybe jump to the end credits because that's on my mind.
We didn't mention the end credits. Yeah.
What'd you think of the end credits?
So I thought they were really funny. The first one is kind of thrown out there with Negasonic and Yoki kind of fixing the time device of Cables. It was just kind of there. It was whatever. But really, the funny ones were the X-Men or Wolverine Origins movie, and then of course Ryan Reynolds. I thought they were hilarious.
Really meta, hilarious moments.
I thought they were really funny. If I won't say anything about it, but like there was a end credit scene that was taken out of this movie at the very end.
Oh right.
It kind of felt.
Is that confirmed?
Lost. Yeah, that was confirmed. Yeah, he even mentioned it in the movie when he mentioned it. He's like, "Why didn't you just go back and kill Hitler?" As a baby?
Right.
Like it just felt empty at the end.
There wasn't like an after credit scene, so don't wait for that.
Yeah, just 2 mid credit scenes, or 3, I guess, if you want to say so. But I thought they were really funny. I mean, some of my favorite ones I've ever seen. They got really hyped up. People say they were like the best end credit scenes I've ever seen.
Yeah,
I don't know if I would say that, but they would be up there for me.
They were funny. I prefer end credit scenes that hint at something to come, but I mean that's the nature of Deadpool. It's all kind of nonsensical.
Right.
But yeah, they did the MacGruber thing where they get to this big super team together and then immediately kill them.
Right.
That's all I thought of during that scene. Which if you haven't seen MacGruber. Hilarious movie. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it. It's very funny.
So shades of that during that scene, but yeah, I mean, what worked for me, Cable did, Negasonic they were fine. Like they weren't in the movie too much.
I
Domino was okay.
I wish Negasonic was more in it because I really enjoyed her character in the first one.
They had a good dynamic.
She felt like she was in less than 10% of this movie. Honestly.
Oh, easy.
I was just like, where is she? Like I know she has a girlfriend now and all that, but it's like What did you think of the big CGI fight with Colossus and Juggernaut? Because Juggernaut's in this movie, and I think personally, although he's like big CGI like guy, I think he's like the best version of Juggernaut we've ever seen in movies. But still,
I mean, they made a joke of it as much. Like, look at this big CGI fight. Here we go. It was okay. Like that was kind of an issue with me for the first Deadpool, where this end battle and that one was also kind of CGI driven, and I've never been on board with the Colossus character. I like that you pit Deadpool up against a very stoic, like regular personality, because I think that juxtaposition's quite funny.
Right.
But the CGI just kind of really bothers me with him. I don't know. I wish they would have picked a different mutant.
I guess I liked Juggernaut in this movie, or not Juggernaut, sorry, Colossus in this movie more than I liked him in the first one. The first one, he just seemed like he was just trying to big brother Deadpool the whole time. We never really got that cool fight scene until the end.
Right.
This time, I really enjoyed his character a little bit more. The CGI did look a little wonky, but I did enjoy the fight just because they had like that super hard rap music on top of it. So it's just like the rap music kind of got me juiced, and just to kind of see they were just like
the dubstep joke was pretty funny. They brought back a few times, but I honestly I wanted some more surprises. Because in this movie, you can really do anything you want.
Yeah.
And it'll be funny in some way.
Right.
Because it's supposed to be so stupid and nonsensical, breaking the fourth wall, all that. I wish we would have seen some, I was half expected, like, I know Universal owns the rights, but, like, Dom to show up or something. Like, I don't know, or for them to spoof other movies within this movie. Like, something a lot more creative than kind of the plot felt pretty generic without I thought it was well written, so the jokes and all that worked and saved the movie, made it really enjoyable for me. But again, I wanted something that was a little bit more like kind of like the 007 intro, unexpected, meta, funny, nothing I've seen before as far as like making direct fun of that. I guess I wanted to be more surprised by this because they set the bar so high for themselves with the marketing and Ryan Reynolds going to Korea and dressing up like in that unicorn costume and seeing like it's just I mean, he's a really talented guy. They did really really well with this film, but I just wanted more, I guess.
Wanted more. And I definitely felt like the T.J. Miller jokes just kind of fell flat throughout the whole movie.
That was a weird buzz in the room when he was on screen.
It was just, in the first movie, I think he's, like, really hilarious. Like, just his dialogue and the way he delivers his lines are just so funny. It just felt like, in this movie, you looked up at the screen and you were like, should you be in this movie? Because you're just kind of a bad person in one respect. But the other one, I just felt like the jokes were recycled from the first one. I was like, I was waiting for that new stuff. It was just, like, they even, like, bring back one joke where he's, like, Domino's there, and she's like, I've never seen your face before, and then T.J. Miller's like, yeah, it looks like an avocado, you know?
Right.
And I was like, we're just recycling old jokes, you know?
The Dopender character worked for me even more in this one, so that was really good.
Yeah. Brown Panther.
I mean, this movie is, I think it's, you know, you got to see it, I think, a couple times at least.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll like it upon second viewing, because I did have such high expectations, not as far as, like, quality, but, like, as far as that kind of, like, the first one was more shock value, like, oh my, I can't believe we're seeing this movie.
Right.
This one I was like, I wanted to feel like, wow, I can't believe they joked about this. I didn't see that coming.
Did the end credit scene when he goes back and he saves Vanessa, that bother you at all?
No, not really.
See, when I first watched it, it did bother me a little bit, because I was just like, okay, like, you saved Vanessa. Okay, like, what was the point of the whole movie then? Because that's literally the driving force that gets you to the X-Men house, then that helps you find Fire Fist that drives this whole movie.
Well,
but then I just was like, it's Deadpool, like, who gives a shit, you know?
That's the problem. It's already been, like, established that this character is wacky, and really the most kind of serious you can get, I think, is the first one, where he's, like, tortured and like, he's made to be this monster, and then he's saving his girlfriend. I mean, they had the Looper plot where he's the kid, they're trying to prevent him from being like a monster and ruining the future.
Right.
They didn't delve into that too much. Kind of like a Terminator aspect with Cable coming back, and like they didn't linger or focus. It was kind of a combination of a bunch of plots of different movies, and they didn't linger on it so much or expect the audience to get really into it to where I thought it mattered or negatively affected your enjoyment of the film.
Right.
It was like just enough of a little emotional beat to carry you through.
Yeah.
It worked for me. I don't know.
I mean, the whole movie, like I said, I never sat in the movie and I was just like, man, this is dragging on. I was entertained throughout the whole movie. It was funny. The MCU jokes hit for me. You know, when Deadpool has the collar on, he's like, I'm basically just like Hawkeye, you know? Or he's like, why does everybody got a Winter Soldier arm? He's talking about Cable. So like all the MCU jokes kind of hit for me. It's just certain decisions in the movie, I was just like, we could have gone a different direction. We could have, like you said, made it bigger, you know?
It's tough to continue on with this franchise unless, well, it depends on how the Fox deal shakes out with Disney.
Right.
But the way, like, this comedy packs such a punch, this style of comedy, I think you really got to be super creative to keep it as fresh.
Right.
Otherwise, it just runs the risk of feeling like the same
recycled stuff,
jokes and plot and all that. So
right.
We'll see where it goes. Worth your time, worth checking out.
Definitely.
Absolutely. I mean, especially after kind of the emotional high of Infinity War.
Yeah.
Packed May with Infinity War and Solo next week and Deadpool. So we can recommend this.
Definitely go check it out.
We're going to talk more in depth about it in the form of a podcast on Comic Losers soon. So listen to that. And thanks for watching. We scored it 4 out of 5 earlier in this very review. And I think that's a pretty solid score. So
solid.
We'll keep it at that. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Or don't.
Subscribe.
Please.